Well, it's a bit rainy today. I didn't sleep real long at Walmart last night. Had a hard time getting to sleep. Think it was from that large coffee I had. Well, actually, it wasn't a large coffee, but that coffee I had at McDonald's before I went to bed. I got in a free shower today at the Y in Brunswick, and now I'm at Pulaski National Park. And I ended up buying a National Park Pass for the whole of the U.S. for the rest of the year because it was only $80 US. And I'm hoping to head to some more places like Utah and Arizona later in the year and stuff. And some of those parks are pretty expensive, $35 each. Like the Grand Canyon and Arches and Bryce National Park. So anyway, I'm going to visit this historical site today. I'm going to pop over to the visit center and get a map. You can tell it's raining, but I'll enjoy the day anyway. Another view of the outside with the moat. The Union forces took control of Fort Pulaski in 1862. Fort Pulaski took 18 years to build between 1829 and 1847. It sits on Cockspur Island where the Savannah River meets the Atlantic Ocean and was one of 42 masonry forts built between 1825 and 1860. These third system fortifications were built to protect the U.S. ports from naval attack by foreign nations, but Fort Pulaski never came under attack from a foreign navy. Instead, it was only used during the American Civil War. On January 3, 1861, Georgia militiamen seized the fort without a fight and handed the fort over to the newly formed Confederacy. The Confederates held Fort Pulaski for 1 year until Union forces bombarded the fort on April 10th and 11th, 1862, and forced its surrender in just 30 hours. The Union remained in control of the fort for the duration of the war. The fort saw limited use throughout the rest of the 1800s. By 1910, the island had been completely abandoned. In 1924, Fort Pulaski was designated a national monument. Walls and halls could tell. Another drawbridge. These doors. The guard room. Soldiers reported to the guard room for their 2-hour guard duty. The 2 hours on and 4 hours off sequence lasted for a full 24-hour day. The quartermaster, he ran things smoothly. He kept track of and the issue of military equipment. A lot of equipment to operate cannons. That's what those long poles and different things are for. The fort turns 100 years since it became a national place for people to visit. And the school students have made pictures. Officers' quarters. Of the 620,000 soldiers who died during the American Civil War, 2/3 of the deaths were caused by disease. For the first time, an assistant surgeon went out into the battlefield and performed both first aid and triage. Surgeons became specialized and female nursing began. There was also ether and chloroform to provide painless surgeries. At Fort Pulaski, they had a wooden structure located outside the fort in the village, which was a hospital. This was destroyed during a hurricane in the 1880s. Of course, the commanding officer's quarters. A single room with a table, big fireplace, ducks. Of course, a residential cat. This is one of the best preserved forts I've been in North America. But I heard the walls were 7 feet thick in places. Part of these walls were hit by artillery. They'd be on these tracks so they could turn, change direction. Cockspur Island was once much smaller than it is today, but it's been dredged to make it deep enough for ocean-going container ships the Savannah River has. So the mud was deposited on the island, making it grow. This is a casemate gym. It's a pulley system that moved the 8,000-pound cannons around. Writing written by the soldiers in 1862. There were theatrical productions, and they played baseball. They had an orchestra, a band. Well, it stopped raining. I'm so happy about that. This was the home of the Confederate prisoners. So these bricks, after the damage of 1862, revealed the fingerprints of the slaves that made them. It's a tiny handprint that was left in one of the bricks. This is beneath the floorboards. cistern that held the fresh water for the soldiers could hold up to 200,000 gallons. These soldiers are buried here in unmarked graves. Well, anyway, I'm taking the lighthouse walk. I probably should have put my hiking shoes on because my runners are totally soaked already, but I do have my good runners still in the car, and of course my hiking shoes if I need something dry. I'm in the jungle. Super, super windy. Looks like this is the end of the trail. They did say that you can't go to the shore, and actually that's on a little island by itself. So this lighthouse was built in 1856. The light was extinguished in June 1909 as it was no longer needed. With the most damage. You can see it all along. A little bit more on this corner as well. It's all on this side, this area. I think they said that's the south side where it got hit the most. Protein coffee to keep me going. Just doing the North Pier Trail before I go find the picnic area and make some dinner. The John Wesley Memorial, who landed in America on this island February 6, 1736. Cockspur Island saw more military occupation, but no action after the Civil War. During the Spanish-American War in 1898, a small force was garrisoned here to protect the river. They operated the controls for electric mines in the North Channel of the Savannah and manned guns in Fort Pulaski's Debulun. After the war, this concrete gun battery, named for Lieutenant Horace George Hambright, was constructed for rapid-fire guns to cover the minefield, but the guns were never installed. So it was area for 2 of the guns, but they were never installed. I'm going to walk down there. I was wrong. There's more areas. I think there's one there, and possibly one up here. Oh, no. Just a small little area. Ooh, that was a snake. Real shame that no one can go on this beach. It's beautiful. But I guess it's to protect it. So crazy, my coffee filter went flying, the little milk cup, the measuring cup, everything went flying off the table. Because I don't have a kettle to work in the car anymore, I'm making some baked beans that I'll use later because I'll eat them cold even, and a fruit and vegetable curry for now. But it is raining a bit and it is windy like crazy. This is screened in. I wonder maybe I could have cooked in here. It's raining out there now. I just came over to put my garbage in. The fruit and vegetable curry worked fine this time. Just have to remember only 2/3 of a cup of boiling water and let it sit a few minutes longer. It'll sat about 12 minutes and it's perfect. It's all trial and error. Now I'm going to sit and read and just sit in this shelter for a little while. Wow, it's been throwing it down really hard. It's quieting a little bit. Gosh, I hope it ends soon. I'm stuck in this building.